Good morning. Through the years of my ministry, I've had some unusual experiences. I have always been very hesitant to call them revelations. The term I prefer is illuminating spiritual awareness. Moments when some new and often exciting awareness has come which resulted in my pursuing a somewhat different path and certainly some new thinking. An experience that has pushed me in one direction or more. I've written about one very special such experience in a writing entitled, "You Can't Pay for a Gift." Briefly, a friend of our son Mark drove Beth and me back to Enid after Beth's release from a hospital in Denver. It was a long drive, which I could not have done by myself, and for which I was very, very thankful. At the dinner table that evening, I was feeling so very grateful to Mike, our driver, and I said to him, "Mike, I want to pay you for driving us today. We could not have made this trip without you." Mike looked very intently at me, straight in my eyes, and said, "Bill, you can't pay for a gift." I was floored by his statement. I was startled by his statement. It was what I term an illuminating spiritual awareness. My mind took off on the further reaches of his declaration, "You can't pay for a gift." I began to push the truth immediately into a theological realm, and then further and further. You can't pay for a gift. How was I going to implement that thinking into my own giving, my helping my children, my grandchildren, giving? How was I going to do it in such a way that they knew that I did not expect anything in return? I did a sort of a reverse fantasy, if you will, of Jesus and his disciples in the upper room at what we call the Last Supper. He said, "This is my body which I give." John 3:16 declares, "For God so loved the world that he gave," given, and therefore we cannot pay for a gift. What about some of the songs, hymns that I've sung and their theology? "Beat it, Jesus paid it all to him I owe." What about the payback idea of that hymn? I don't know that I could sing that hymn in any valid, meaningful way again. My mind raced with the further implications of what Mike had declared. Was I on the verge of having to rethink my whole theology about giving and about receiving? And how will this affect my giving to each person, to every person, or to anyone? How do I give in such a manner, a new manner, so that I will not suggest or make the slightest hint that I am expecting something, anything in return? My mind did an unusual fantasy. I pictured the scene in the upper room again, Jesus talking to his disciples. He stands up and then he declares to them, "Now I want you to know that I'm going to give my life for you. I'm going to the cross and I'm going to die for you. And when I do, remember, you're going to owe me." No, 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 no. Jesus could never have made that statement about giving his life. I've got to wrap my spirit, my mind, and my heart around a whole new way of thinking, of teaching, of preaching, and of living. You can't pay for a gift. What an illuminating spiritual experience was afforded me by Mike's remark that night. This is what I mean by illuminating spiritual awareness. The word illuminating is best because some brand new light has come into my mind, my heart, and spirit. Spiritual because my relationship with God and Christ as givers is now different. Awareness because a new way of thinking has been opened up to me. However, awareness, as you may well know, awareness is only the key to change. Change must be decided and chosen after the awareness. The other illuminating spiritual awareness occurred one Sunday morning following the moving of Beth's clothes from our closet. Our daughter and a friend had removed all of Beth's clothing from the closet on the Saturday afternoon. Beth had died about 3 months earlier. The next morning, having glanced into the closet and being startlingly aware of the removal of her clothes, I laid back down to let the awareness sink in. As I thought about Beth being gone, my mind began to draw a picture of her in heaven. The images came slowly but surely. God and Jesus were probably giving her a whole new wardrobe. Dresses, robes, blouses, gowns, everything that she would need to be outfitted for heaven. They would know her favorite color, blue, and exactly what size she needed. What fun she would have choosing. I had a picture of her in my mind's eye of such an occasion. Suddenly, all of my thinking about heaven and being with God and Christ after death came into a personal and individually specific focus. Those words of Jesus told in John's Gospel, revealing Jesus' plans for each one of us, came into a new and startling reality. Remember those words? Jesus said, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to myself, so that where I am you may be also." And all of a sudden I thought, I really do believe that for myself. Beth will never be coming back. She will not ever need any of those clothes. But God has outfitted her anew and beautifully. Each of us may have, during our lives, the privilege of having an illuminating spiritual awareness. Someone may speak some words to us that will initiate the awareness. It may occur when we are meditating on some significant event that has happened to us. A remembered passage of Scripture may take on a totally new and wonderful meaning. A song, a hymn may have words that all of a sudden shout a message to us that we've never heard before. The message has been there, we just haven't heard it before. The Spirit of the Christ may be waiting for you to be in tune, to listen like never before, to hear like you've never heard before. My invitation to you, each of you, is this: be open, be ready, be aware, be listening. The awareness and illuminating spiritual awareness may come to you today. I hope you expect it to happen to you.